Welcome, this is Crimey Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which comes from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile. Hence we say the crimson light is alive. So we need to remember, or not necessarily need, but let's just remember to smile, to laugh. We are sipping out wonderful vibration when we do that. It equals number 4. It equals 22 to be direct, master numbers, but 4 in a single digit. But 4 represents the 4 corners of the earth, your north, south, east, and west. Isn't that delicious? Okay, let's continue. And so I would like to continue presentation on wisdom. I have done 2 presentations, I believe, on wisdom. Of course, may have touched on wisdom before then. Oh, I'm feeling I need so many boards. Okay, let's leave this one and try this one. Okay, so wisdom. Okay, but we do need the template. We do need the template. It's the template. All right, let's just do wisdom. Okay. So wisdom is 5, 9, 1, 4, 6, 4. Now, what is wonderful, we see how W and M is really one and the same. And we see how the interplay of these 2 letters have really showed up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But it's really showed up in that bucket I have been going on about. BKT, JAS, LUC, LUC, DVM for development, and new, NEW for new, Fox is FOX, and Gypsy, is the space, GPY, and headquarters is HQZ, and the inland revenue. Okay, inland revenue is always there. So this we have. Okay, so wisdom. We see that there is a connection with the M and the W. So I was doing I done the presentation on wisdom, which derived from what looked like a wisdom tooth. And of course, as I say, I do see things in a certain angle, and I think, oh, that speaks to me. This side, I seem to see a lot from this side. Okay, so wisdom tooth. And I thought that the story, when we are told to seek wisdom, I think it really has a lot to do, or we can learn a lot through our wisdom tooth. Because we are taught, as far as I recall, that the wisdom tooth, it is said, serves no purpose. But I don't think that God did anything with that purpose. I believe there was purpose, whether it's to really teach us this simple lesson as well. Because it is said, seek wisdom. When you find it, buy a field and dig a hole and bury it. I'm not sure if it said dig a hole, but it said bury it. So when you bury something, it seems like you have to dig or cover it. Or if you already find a hole, of course you need to cover it to bury it. And it is that sort of essence that we see lies in here. It's the sort of wisdom that has been happening here that I have now been able to show you, or to show how wisdom from the Bible, from the last presentation, the Bible is this way, B-I-B-L-E, and we can also write the Bible this way. In fact, I'll do this in contrast so you can see. So, whoopsie, the Bible is B-I L E B-I-L-E, well, B-I-double-B, but it's B like bile. Well, there's bile as well. Well, it makes sense. That makes sense. This is the thing I mean about nothing happens by accident. Because I have been reading the book of Ezekiel, and I have been reading the Old Testament, and I'm trying to make sense of all this blood and all this sacrifice and all this going on. And I can see exactly where it derives from. So this would be bile, makes perfect sense. So if there is, so it means that bile, there's a kind of reflux or something happening from that book of wisdom as well. It's not all about honey, is it? Let's be honest. I believe it constitutes everything. Everything that human being could really possibly endure or experience, I believe entails. It's in the Bible somewhere. Now, so let's do that Bible again. So we do B because we done bile. Don't know what Freud would say about this. Okay, B I B L E. So this is the Bible. So this is denoted when it says seek wisdom. Wisdom. It is also telling us, just as this B constitutes so much in it that is not visible from this two-dimension, there is so much that is yet to be discovered. And so we are asked to seek this wisdom. I'm hoping that I have really unlocked the door of that wisdom. I have not known anyone else to do this, not with the Bible. In fact, I have not known it at all. It's just an observation that I encountered through this, knowing that this B constitutes of 2, it comes under 2, and I have done presentations that shows how the 2 comes about, because it's like 1 and 2 is 3, but 3 is 1 digit by itself, and so 3 is 1 digit by itself, because you add in 1 and 3, and also 1 is a digit by itself, so 2 digits comes together, so you could say it is 2. Okay. So this is how the B is formed. But the 2 is also 1 and 3, 13. So there you have 13. 1 and 3 is 13, but 13, 1 and 3 is also 4. So it also goes up to number, because we have been able to put, with the B, we have also been able to put L, which is 3. L 3 and another L this way upside down. We have been able to put E and all those letters, as you can see. So it really is like that beehive, because that's where that all derived from, the beehive. We wanted to know what sweetness, what, of course we all have had bee, honey bee, honey, but it's really that kind of that was the message that was developing, that was coming out of this. That's why sometimes when I am doing the presentations, and like I just did, and I thought, okay, I would do one presentation on this template and get on to doing wisdom, but there was something more flowing out. So I feel it's best to just go with it, not fight it, not struggle with it, and just go with it, because we are on a journey of learning and learning discoveries. Who is it that it was said that they were so near to uncovering that gold mine, but after and was just inches away from discovering the gold. And that's what has happened with me. I have experienced this essence of this deliciousness happening through those presentations that I think, well, I want more, or let me savor this and let me just, digest this. So here we are. Here we are. Okay, so we see that what wisdom is actually entailed in this presentation, we could say. So let's just add wisdom, because there was another thing, something very profound happened when I was watching. I'm just getting rid of this. Yeah. Oh. Okay. When I was watching this presentation, and so we saw that, okay, I perhaps need to really reflect and make reference to this, but let's add this up for now. There is 5. I'll do wisdom here so I can experiment with wisdom. Okay, so there was 5 and there was 4. And I like to do this. So there is 9 here. 5 and 4 is 9. And 9 and 6 is 15. So 15, 1 and 5 is 6. And so I'm just playing about here with a sort of experiment that I'm doing. And then we have S and D. So here we have 4 and 1, 5. So that's actually, wisdom is actually 20. But if you were to add it all up like this, you would see that it comes to 11, and then you add the 2, which makes it. But we see here again. So 2, that 2 comes here. It's like it comes under that wisdom 2. So here we see a direct correlation with wisdom and number 2. So number 2 is of partnership. Number 2 is of harmony. Number 2 is fellowship. Number 2 is all those words that happens. It's agreement. It's where you shake hands. It's all of those things that constitutes number 2. This is where in the template that we are not at liberty to change, if you like. This is where I believe that the Last Supper had taken place, and this is where people really have those agreements. So it's under that too. So wisdom, we are actually told in this stage now to seek number 2. Now, could it just mean to seek harmony, to seek understanding, to seek to seek fellowship? Could it just mean that? But then we also see in the definition of wise, I think it's about wit, and all of that, I suppose, still constitutes fellowship and partnership and harmony and all of those things. But this is what we see. But it's the fact that it says when you find it, bury it. That's the point. Now, what I was trying to also work out, so it's the I was also embracing that I here. It's as if we are present in this dome. This is where I think I'm going to call on the elders to help me here. My elders are truth, unity, faith, endurance, forgiveness, presence, and conviction. The 7 elders that I met on or encountered through my journey of self-actualization. So I am wanting to see how I got the IR. It's coming because when I was doing the presentation on wisdom, and I saw that there was a correlation of IS, yes. So we had dome. I did put dome aside because there we understand that wisdom, it has domes, and we see that the free is there. It's like McDonald's is there waiting for the burger inside. So it's that free, it's that W, it's that wedding, it's that marriage, um, it's that well, whatever M is. And so I was doing, and actually here we have the that's another thing, because isn't a mantra? And it's no wonder. Yes, so that makes sense. And dome, we have kingdoms and different domes. Okay, but what I also was intrigued about is that we have is. Now I was looking at that is here, and it reminded me of how it entailed, or how it was. um, Okay, this is it, because is correlates with 9. And so I was trying to see how 9, because this is 9. Have I added this 9? I think I may have. Well, I know that wisdom comes to 2 anyway, but I'm just seeing if I have added this 9. So let's just do this again. Okay, let's do wisdom again. Wisdom. So we have 5, 9, 1, 4, 0, no 6, not 0, 6, 4. All right. So that's 10, 15, 29. So 29. So this is how we see we get 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Okay. So this is, so we have 2. Now, I wanted to see how these figures correlate or match with the template, and I would like to use a contrast for this. So in wisdom, there was something that alerted my attention in wisdom, and I'd really like to capture it, because then it gives us a sense of the derivative of certain actions and well, functions in our lives. Okay, so 9 correlates with I and R. This 9 here, we have only one 9 here. So I thought I and I and R, so that's I, and then we have S is 1, and I thought I 1 here. What I saw was RS, and that was, it spoke to me like a res. It was resonating as a res. And IS, I did that. I'm trying to work out how it came about. All right, so 4, let's just do M here. Okay, so that's M, that's O, that's D. We'll see a pattern. That's S is here, and W is here. Okay, so W, and the lovely thing is it's a 5 letters. So 5 letters is also showing the new section, which is on the number 5. It's like saying that 5 is really a wise number to have. Okay, so it's W I, here's the I. Okay, WISDOM. So we have wisdom here. We can rub this off. That's the wisdom too. I don't know why it's also looking like the patterns of the stars or something to that effect, and I'm going to make comparison with that as well. It kind of just reminds me of looking up the sky in St. Lucia and seeing the 3 sisters or something to that effect. But we'll look at that. Now, what I find very interesting, and I have been seeing a correlation happening, that this side is, you could say, the poor side. Although agreements are done here, it seemed that there is an anchor that happens here, which is necessary to have that anchor or attachment to be able to move onto that side. So we can see from development that we only have the S here. Now the S is also showing you it's a kind of hook. It's a little bit like the 5, but it has got the ability, and you could see its flexibility is showing that it has potential to go anywhere you want. Of course, it's like a bit like the 3, but what is wonderful about the S is got a hook this way and hook that way, so it's flexible in going whichever way. That's a world. Okay. And it's also a bit like the 2, the number 2. So, but the wonderful thing is both 3, you could see 3 and 4 are facing this way. 3 and 2, excuse me, are facing this way, but the S is going this way. Hence the snake in all of the movies, the cultures, and that is like all template or signposts. Our religion all has that S in them because the S has the ability to go back and forth. Wonderful. So if your name ends in S, it perhaps means that you are very versatile in that context, although it would make sense to look at the other letters. But if your name ends in S, it would just take you back to that start point. Hopefully that you have learned enough that you do not need to go into that revisiting this section, or if you do, you have the ability to try and create it on your terms. Go in with your agenda as well and see what, of course, for the greater good. Okay, so back to wisdom. So we see S and R. So let's compare, because SD, let's just look at that. Now, so S is really, I'm going to just put S with all of these and see what happens. So SD, we know this is to do with an SD card. Okay. SM, well, I don't know what SM is, or MS. MS. Oh, there's so much going on with MS. Okay. MS, Microsoft, or MS, sclerosis, or all these MS. Okay. S, of course, with W can be turned upside down, and we have like in, of course, no, SM, SW, it serves as the same as MS or SW. We turn it upside down. Okay, so that's the same thing. But as well, we haven't converted them in numbers yet, and that's another part of wisdom, because that's what wisdom is about, to really turn something on all sides and see and derive at whatever solutions or sum that it is. So SO, we always say so when that is equals 7. So I've done 7 for this one, SO, so I use that a lot. So okay, we see that, and they look very much, because there's the smoothness and synchronicity, or they synchronize rather in that smoothness. Okay, it's like the 0 has just unfolded and taken the shape of an S. And we have SI or IS. This is the word IS. And then we have RS. And yes. So what I did before was had the I from the wisdom and compared it with all, because I was saying that it's taken to taking into account yourself, your position. How do you relate to all of those other? But we see this. So IS, and we see this harmony happening here. It's like everything is. So 9 and 1 and is 10. So IS is really 10, which is 1 in essence in numerical value. So is something is, it's just is. That is what we are getting here. RS is I think it was an RS. I don't know, RS. RS seems to with the sound RS. And why I say RS, it means like RS is like RS. It's like arrest. It sounds like ARREST when someone arrests you. So, and you see that how they come, it's as if that I'm getting the impression that the word arrest derived from RS because there is such a harmony in RS. So it's as if there is a pulling on either side. So the R has stuck its foot down and S is trying to get away. Okay. So but this is the point I am seeing here. So if we were to take I or IR, we had the IR, okay. Again, this RI, okay. Inland revenue, of course, we've done inland revenue. And ID, we have ID card, your ID card. So these things gives us a lot in a sense of seeing the wisdom, how wisdom has explored or escalated around us. So once you've got, ID tells everything. It shows everything, your ID. So once someone has your ID number, they can find out anything from you, really. Okay, so you have the cards, MS-DOS. Oh, that's another word, MS-DOS. So it would be useful to actually get all the words we can from wisdom. So, or abbreviations in this case, yes, because we see how a lot of things can be hidden, like in the Bible, and why shouldn't we uncover the word wisdom here? So we see MS, like wisdom, MS-DOS, IS, okay, and WO, DO, DOM, we had DOM, DO, or, all right. It's something I'm going to explore, but I feel it's very important for us to do that. And we see that, of course, wisdom, just to go over it, wisdom equals 2, and this is where the 2 is. So it's as if there is a game. There's a game happening in number 2, a game happening in this section, and then we are told to seek this wisdom in that tube. It's the tube. We are told to seek that wisdom. When we seek it, bury it. You know, it's like that tooth in the back of your mouth, and it's buried there. And what does it serve there? Which we are told it's not much, but it probably is holding something. Or jaw, it's got some function somehow. And we saw that it is, or the construct of it, which I did on the previous presentation. It is hard, it is smooth, it is it's got the curves, it's got, and this is the thing also, the dome. I believe that the word fardom actually comes from the wisdom. I believe that because it's far, It's fathom. When someone says, oh, you can't even fathom something, I believe that it is, I don't know if there is an R in fathom, but THOM. Is it THODOM? I'm going to go over this, but the word again, there is the aspect of sound that we can take into consideration. So although I am dealing with numerology, I am very convinced that there is at least four major ways of uncovering our W aspects. But I believe numerology to be very, very pinnacle, especially if there is a whole book in the Bible, the fifth book as well, dedicated to numbers. It's called Numbers, and it's the fifth book, which means it's on that pinnacle, that number of five, which is also of our five senses, five Christ, the number of Christ, the number with correlating to Eve, and five fingers, five toes, and all five is, and so basically, I believe that there is much to discover from the number 5 in terms of wisdom. As I say, it also has 5 letters, WISDO. Well, it's 6 letters actually. 6 letters. So that's 6 letters. Yeah, I think I did say 5, but it's 6 letters. So these 6 letters are correlating with this number 6 of that which we are. Well, I hope you have found this insightful somehow. I hope it gives us a sense of awareness, because we carry wisdom teeth in our mouth and we don't really think much about it. But what if that we knew the structure of our wisdom tooth, that we were able to unlock the mysteries of numbers through that knowledge? What if? I leave you with this. In the meantime, be blissful, be filled, be bright, and stay ignited. Namaste. And spill over with love. Oh, if you like this, please click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualize it. Self-full love. Okay. See you next time.